Yeah. I played a lot of golf down there, but I didn't get to beat some. I played a little bit.
Good evening, everyone, and it's now 5:30. We want to call our city board meeting into session for our board meeting here for June the 11th, 2024, our regular scheduled board meeting. We're now in session. The first thing we want to do on our agenda is would you bow please for a word of prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we come before you once again, humble as we know how. Thank you for your goodness, your mercy, and your amazing grace. Thank you for the blessings on this community. Thank you for the people that live here. Thank you as we continue to acknowledge those who have less than. We know that your eyes on the sparrow, and let us continue to help those who are in need in every way possible. Let us show ourselves worthy to be called the children of God as we move forward in a magnificent way. Let us decisions to be made tonight over our budget and the future of this community be great. I'll give you the honor and the glory for which it all belongs. In Jesus' name we pray and thank you. Amen. Amen. Let me stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. We move expeditiously. Of course, with Alderman Taylor called, said he's not feeling well. We want to make sure you keep him in your concerns and your prayers. The first item on our agenda tonight in terms of business is approval of minutes from the regular May 14th, 2024 meeting. Are there any questions, concerns from the Alderman?
I make a motion, we approve May 14th minutes.
I hear a motion. Do I hear a second? It's been moved and properly second. Any questions, concerns on the minutes? Hearing none, we'll call for the vote. All in favor, let it know by the sign of aye. Those opposed, nay. Minutes approved. Next, we have an action item. We have a request made to rename the street, Morgan Street, right in front of Westlake to Westlake Drive. Mr. Banks, do you have any background information or source information for them?
Basically, I think we were contacted by Robert Grant from Westlake, and they're coming up on their 50th anniversary of being here in Brownsville. And they're gonna have a celebration this fall. And they asked if the city would entertain the possibility of renaming the portion of the street between Boyd and what's that intersection?
The popcorn? No.
Papa Corner is Boyd, and then the other street. Welch, thank you. Which would only affect a couple addresses there, but, you know, he just said, you know, and they have been good community partners for the last 50 years. Jack McDonald, who was head of LASCO at the time, used to, be on our industrial recruiting team, as we brought industrial recruits into town. So I checked with them to ask to see what the process would be, that we'd have to go through. And it'd basically be, working through the Postmaster General, notifying the other residents, which would be the TCAT and the recycling building, on that section of the street. Those would be the only two affected. And the city taking formal action, to rename the street.
This is the first time I think we addressed a concern of this nature. I know we also talked about the possibility of making an honorary, but like I said, it won't affect many people there. What will be your recommendation for our next step moving forward? What do you think?
Well, I guess the board needs to take some action. So, you know, the other thing that the mayor and I have talked about is in Nashville particularly, I'm up there a lot, but they have a lot of streets, you know, that have the traditional name in the Green Street. And then up underneath it, you know, it's the honorary street name is on a brown sign, and it's named after some prominent figure or somebody, you know, from the Nashville area. So the address would still be the same, but it would, you know, be an honorary street name.
Do you know if Mr. Grant's request was, he's flexible? He mentioned it.
He preferred that the street name be changed so that the address for Westlake would be like 1 Westlake Way or whatever.
Okay.
You know, just a little bit more impressive on the letterhead and social media presence.
Okay. Mr. Merrill, do you have an opinion or an experience with
This
this?
is the first I've heard of this, and so I really, my opinion would be that if the 911 person doesn't have an issue with it, y'all could possibly entertain changing the street, but when you do change the name of the street, you do affect addresses as the Colonel just accurately stated. And so with that, you know, that's totally up to you all.
Okay.
Me, myself personally, unless, you know, that's a local issue.
Yeah,
And so that's just up to you all on whether or not you want to go that route.
okay.
But it's open up a can of worms, can possibly open up a can.
That's my view. Any comments or questions from all? Okay. It's new to me. That's why I was kind of want to get input from everybody. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Also, I will say that, yeah, Westlake has been a good community partner. And that we're gonna partner with on their 50th celebration. They're gonna make a healthy contribution to our kindergarten statute. Yeah, so, yes, sir. Any comments, questions? Are we taking a motion? Are we taking action?
So somebody can make a motion to either rename the street or renaming it in an honorary form. You know, see if it gets a second, have some discussion and go from there.
I can get a little bit more discussion on.
You wanna make the I guess the question is, do we make the motion for honorary or for address change? To put it simple, what's the pleasure of the board?
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we rename that portion of the road to Westlake Street.
Okay, do we have a second? It's been moved to second, discussion. Any discussion? You already just opened the doors to challenge with MTS to see postmaster and 911.
And 911, yeah, and I've got the email, it's just 2 or 3, I mean, I say it's just 2 or 3 items. It's not a whole lot, but they're critical steps.
Okay.
You know, I mean, notification to the TCAT and the recycling center, that the address will change so that they can obviously, put that on their letterhead, and notify,
Okay.
change bank account, whatever.
Whatever,
It's
yeah.
held in that, yeah.
So for instance, Fourth Avenue in Nashville was Fourth Avenue, and they renamed it John Lewis Way. Did they, do you remember seeing whether that was honorary or whether that was?
No, they actually changed the name of
renamed?
it.
Yeah, so it's not uncommon
It's not uncommon.
to totally rename. the
It's
street.
not.
Section.
Yeah, we hadn't had anything, the last time I remember us ever considering a street name change was Elizabeth Street, and it was years ago. I think maybe during Webb Bank's tenure, but yeah, since then, we just hadn't had anything come up.
Well, I think in this day and time, and Westlake has been, like you say, here for almost 50 years and been a huge resource and a huge asset to this community, and I feel okay with granting their wishes on that.
Okay, any further discussion?
No,
It'd be business, yeah, that's a big point too. Okay, at this time, we have a motion, the second reporter to approve the action item renaming the street to Westlake. We'll call for the vote, all those in favor, let it know by the sign of aye. Those opposed?
No.
Okay. I vote aye. Since we have that should take care of, because we don't have a quorum, with my vote.
yes,
Make a difference.
yeah, that was the majority.
All right. All right, next we have orders number 1020, Mr. Shelton Mayor, property rezone of Grand and King Street on the first reading.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor, and ladies and gentlemen of the council. Basically, this is an ordinance to rezone a property on South Grand Avenue as well as King Avenue. Right now, the property, this tax parcel 23, Haywood County Tax Map 75, owned by the Bond family. Right now, this property has 2 zoning designations. The portion that fronts on South Grand Avenue is zoned restricted industrial, and the majority portion is R2. And so we're recommending, the planning commission has recommended that this property be rezoned in its entirety to R2, which would be medium density residential. Any questions?
Okay. Hearing none, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve ordinance number 1020. Do I hear a motion? It's been moved by Alderwoman Flagg. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second, been moved and proper second in discussion, question. Hearing none, we'll call for the vote. All in favor, let it know by the sign of aye. Those opposed, nay. Okay. Ordinance number 1021, yes. Adoption of the next future land use plan dated March 2024. Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir. This is the ordinance that's been certified to be by the planning commission. They adopted it at the last meeting held in May. And basically, this is the land use plan that prepared for the county, the Haywood Next Plan, that was prepared by excuse me, I don't know if I just said that or not, but however, you have the map in front of you, apropos to both the county as a whole, as well as, the city of Brownsville and its planning region. And so, if you have any questions, please ask.
Okay, it was probably vetted through the planning commission. I know there's one section there on Anderson Avenue that we changed from the original, that change was made. That's the only significant change from the original proposal. Is that correct?
The plan was changed from the February, draft, and reflected in the March draft, and that was, concerning, East Jefferson Street.
Okay,
Right now, the plan still reads as a job center on a good portion of it on Anderson Avenue, which was basically approved after deliberation, and adopted by the planning commission after, much discussion.
okay.
Yep.
All right. So this time, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve ordinance number 1021 on the first reading. Of course, the second reading we have a hearing. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
So moved. Do I hear a second? It's been moved and properly second. Any questions, concerns?
Well, I would just say that we're heavily vested in this plan, and I think it's a step in the right direction that we adopt the plan moving forward. So we don't have potential for two set of rules and people's interpretation. So I think it's a great idea for the city to adopt the LRK plan.
All right, if you move to proper second, all those in favor, let it know by sign of aye. Those opposed, nay. Okay,
Thank you.
pass on the first reading. Next, we have orders number 1022, which is our 2024-25 budget on the first reading. As you see, we're going to address, very briefly, we're going to address 5 funds. I want to make sure everybody understands it. The general fund, this general fund is 110. Then you have funds 800, 400, 500, 121. These funds operate independent of each other. They have different revenue sources and they have different expenditures. So they are independent of each other. So the largest and most functional part of our budget is Fund 110, is our general fund. So this was associated with all our tax revenue that comes in, including licenses, intergovernmental revenue, charges for service, the Delta Heritage Center fines and other. And we have our $817,000 tax equivalent. All right. So when you look at the total amount of revenue, we have $20,203,336. The total amount of our expenditures is $20,962,208, leaving a difference of $758,000. Okay. Once you look at the beginning fund balance, which is $5,496,000, we came in under budget this past year, so we moved that money into fund balance. Now we're just simply moving it back out. We normally run a deficit of, and our estimated budget is about $300,000 or $400,000, but we come in under budget every year, which is thank you to all the hard work. So all the budget we're presenting tonight, thank you, Ms. Batchelor, and the entire team for helping us prepare this budget as I presented for you tonight for your approval. That's where we are. As you see, the largest increases in the expenditures are in public safety. About 13, close to $14 million in your expenditures are in 2 line items. One being public safety, which is $8,794,000. The other is in grants, which is $5,299,000. So that tells you about 14 million of your 20 in expenditures grants. Of course, the grants are money in, money out. That's the match. Of course, our total general government, I'll say this, $3,242,000. As I stated, public safety is $8,794,000. Public works is $2,467,000. Health, culture, and welfare is $1,158,000. And community development, which is our grants, is $5,299,582. So that's the overall general picture. This budget is approved on the first reading. We will have an ending fund balance of if all expenditures, we come in right as we projected on budget, which we do come in under budget every year, which I truly appreciate, is an ending fund balance of $4,737,917 with no debt. So as you can see, we still have a healthy fund balance. Although we present a deficit budget, we work hard to keep it within those parameters. Of course, there are budget amendments available to us later, but this is our outline. So a lot of hard work on this. This budget consists of heavy on employee benefits. We're looking and have plugged in longevity pay for those employees in each and every department that qualify. And it's only gonna cost us $89,000 in this budget year. We see an 8% increase in our insurance. And this budget also has a 4% cost of living increase and a Christmas bonus of $1,000. We also have budgeted in $100,000 for extra health benefits for our community. We're going to present that in a whole format, but we have budgeted at $100,000, and it is a game changer once we get that up and running. Then, of course, the following pages behind it have all the general revenues for the general fund, license permits, intergovernmental, charge for services, the Delta Heritage and the fines. And once again, bring your total revenues to $19,386,248. Once you add in your $817,000 in tax equivalent, it gives you a total revenues of $20,203,336. Then you go into the expenditures, and they're broken down, general government, Board of Alderman, planning. I'll hit some of the increases in what we see. Of course, in the general government, we have some money set aside for benefits. We also have, like I was talking about, the health benefits that we're looking at the program. If everybody approves, we budget for that. Also, our bicentennial celebration, those are one time. Well, the health benefits be ongoing, but the bicentennial is one time. No change in Board of Alderman, no change in the mayor's office. Planning, we do have a full-time planner now in our planning department. And we also have a construction manager and a GIS system. Those are some of the increases you see there on the planning department. Municipal judge and stayed the same. Like I said, the office of the mayor. The mayor job is locked in where I get no bonuses, no salary increase. All the salary is locked in, so it's definitely not in the longevity pay. It's not in there as well. The industrial park, we have some increases in the recruitment and improvement in railroad repair. That's something we have to do for us. Election expenses stay the same. City attorney, tax administration, city clerk's office. Of course, as we do more programming, every year we see we see things come around Christmas time for the flow, decorations, things we do for Christmas. So we actually put that in the budget this year on an amount of $25,000. We had to get some temperature control bookcases to keep our records in. That's like $15,000. That's an office of the clerk. Technology services. We've added in one position in addition to Michael and Darren. And thank you. We do have some new technology here tonight. I may get a chance to talk about that. The City Hall building. Of course, we always have to put into our budget ADA compliance, an amount of $25,000, but we use that as we need to. City building, watching the bathrooms there in the old City Hall have to be ADA compliant. We did do the ramp in the front before we moved to the new building, but those bathrooms need to be ADA because they're open to the public, especially during court sessions. Special projects, we see a decrease in our special projects. These are the nonprofits and to inclusive of the chamber, and the park maintenance, the Key Corner, Webb Banks Park. These are all, that's actually a decrease. We went from 661,000 down to 410,000 in that particular section of our budget. Of course, economic development, that's Lena's job and salary. So your total general government shows a slight increase of about $400,000, $3,242,000. Like I stated, you get the salaries behind that. Public safety consists of the police department, all the school resources officers, the fire department, central dispatch, and I do believe the animal building the codes, animal control, all those come under total public safety. So you see an increase in total public safety of $1,945,906. The largest portion increase, your police department increased by $1 million. So when you look at the safety of our community, this is where we're heavily invested heavily invested in our police department. So when they make requests, we always try to honor those requests, to make sure public safety is at top of the order. So the dispatch has one person, I think that ad has already been budgeted for. We're filling positions with the school resource officers that have been there before. We're leasing 5 vehicles for the police department, so that they can continue to upgrade them. Those Impalas that we have are outdated, over mileage, and we're trying to move away from those vehicles by going through a lease program. So we'll get more vehicles on the street. The fire department had a very small increase. That's mostly capital outlay for their training facilities, some hoses, some fans, some vac fans. And there's a little capital outlay grade. Of course, we were able to upgrade Station 1 in the current budget year. And then now we can look at upgrading some things cosmetically and structurally in Station 2. Very minimal amount of increase in total well, it's $375,000, but the majority is going towards upgrades, fans, hoses, and capital outlay. Building and codes, you see some machinery and rental equipment down there. That's for the skid steer rental. With a trailer we're adding and 2 lawnmowers for $7,500 each, so it's not a major expense there. We did move half of Jeremy Clinton's salary into this. I hate to use individual names. We use half his salary here and half from Public Works. Animal control, we're adding 1 position to animal control. Of course, you have to have some upgrades in their software. And we're adding 1 truck. This budget is split half by the city and half by the county. The total amount of the animal shelter budget is $438,567. We did receive a grant to purchase another vehicle. We got to get that vehicle in place. So adding another person is going to free up some overtime. That we've been paying a lot of overtime for the animal shelter. And of course, you know, we're going to get some grants, some help from Walbridge to help with the overall expansion of the shelter into our new building. So once again, our total amount of our public safety is $8,794,017, with an increase of $1.9 million. All right, then of course all your salary schedules are there. Please, board and alderman, if y'all have any questions in this time, I'll be able to talk. Please stop me now. Public Works, we're still in Fund 110. We do have some increases here in the tractor, in the capital outlay. We need a side mount tractor, which we're working on. I'm big, and then hopefully I can find a way to get that taken care of. But we have to have those side mount tractors to cut the state street, the highways and streets, but to make sure everything's clear. And those are very, very old equipment, and it's going to become a safety issue in 111. Stormwater, this is the other part of Jeremy Clinton's salary. I'm thinking half salary comes from stormwater, other half comes from Public Works. I misquoted earlier when I said building and code. All right, because it's building and okay. Then we of course then we moved to our city garage. We have 3 positions, but we have 2 mechanics. We talked maybe possibly move that later. We need a heavier car lift and a forklift, which is completely outdated. The capital outlay increasing in the garage is $147,000, giving that total department $383,000. So the total public works budget is $2,467,000, $193. It's an increase of $895,000. So you see, of course, all these increases include longevity pay, the 8% increase in the insurance, and any increase we have in benefits. All right. We go to health, culture, recreation, and welfare. This includes the cemetery for $81,000. Parks and Rec, we split with the county. Our portion is $482,913. That's the county item, so they just let us know what it is we plug it in our budget. City Beautiful is at $40,000. Of course, you know, we see the beautification around the square and throughout the entire city. Delta Heritage Center. So we at 1 position, we need to fill the Delta Heritage Center. There's some capital outlay, minimum amount, $36,000 in capital outlay, but that's bathroom renovations, or $20,000 for panel system and $6,000 to finish the floor. At the Delta Heritage Center. So the overall total health, culture, and recreation is $1,158,435. That's about an increase of about $100,000. So you can see a minimum there, but you can see where it's going in one-time expenditures for the capital outlay. We try to keep the capital outlay as minimal as possible. But we do have opportunity, we know some things come up and break down during the course of the year, but this is where we're starting, trying to constantly, consistently improve that. Community development, as I stated earlier, this is where your grants are. There's $5,299,582 in the grant. This is, a quarter of our budget. We got a $20 million budget, and you got over $5 million in grants. And so that's why you see the increase in our budget, because we continue to go after the grants. They continue to help build our community and protect our fund balance. So your total community development, as I said, is $5,299,000. So we start talking about the total revenue for the general fund, $19,386,000. And then, of course, you see your total expenses. I talked about general government is $3,242,000. Public safety, $8,794,000. Public works, $2,467,000. Health, culture, and recreation, $1.1 million. And community development, which is like grants, is $5,299,000. All right, so when you look at the difference in the deficit, you see it there, but you balance out because the tax equivalent, which I like to see this number go up. It's $817,000 that's used, it's a tax equivalent that comes from gas, water, propane, that comes from the state. So once you do that, we're back to our deficit of $758,872. Once you balance out our fund balance at the end with the $5.2 million that we have now after this current budget year, we're looking at a fund balance of $4,454,000 after, if we approve this budget as it stands. Are there questions about the Fund 110, the general fund? Okay, the other ones will be the other four are pretty simple. Fund 121 is a state street aid. This is money received from the state. Our total revenue is $342,000. That's not a lot of money, especially talking about paving, maintenance, sidewalk maintenance, and things of that nature. It's very minimal, so we'll be lobbying for more. Total expenditures is $290,000. Net change in the fund balance is $52,805. So our beginning fund balance in state street aid is $15,000. Ending fund balance will be $68,000 if Fund 121 is approved. Okay, then it gives you a breakdown on the second sheet of what those expenditures are. Let's say very minimal. There's only 3 line items to go out. Street lights of $135,000. Fuel, gas, and oil, $5,000. And roads, streets, and parking lots is $150,000. That's your paving on Bishop. So the total expenditure is $290,000. Like I said, because we only have $342,000 in revenues coming into that particular fund. Any questions about State Street Aid?
Hey, Mayor, does that include, the new lights that we have? Well, I say the new lights, but the lights that are, I think there's about $2,500 a piece to retrofit those. And I saw there was a line in there. Is that in that line
For street lights?
Yeah.
I'm gonna, Ms. Baxter, the 150 you showing for, no, hold on. The 135 street light, is that any replacement? That's just our regular rental fee.
Those are regular lights.
Those are
That's
regular
what
lights.
they're on the face.
Yeah, because the VA owns the lights, they just charge us a fee.
So,
We need to look at,
yeah, is it our responsibility? I mean, it is our responsibility, I think, to repair those lights, where they've been broken off, been hit by trucks.
there's a couple of them going, they're all on West
Yeah.
Main.
Yeah.
Okay,
I just,
it's not inclusive in that number, but we know we got this 135 there, but that's a
Okay.
good point, making a note. Okay, Fund 400, solid waste. We see our solid waste total revenue is $2,142,000. Total expenditures is $2,417,372. So we have a good fund balance in solid waste at 1.7 million. And this 274,000 is a deficit, but we see some increases here, and I'll talk about that in a minute. And on both the revenue and expenditure side. So we still have a fund balance here. That's if we approve this budget as presented, Fund 400, we have a beginning fund balance of $1,723,000, an ending fund balance of $1,448,000. So when you look at solid waste and Fund 400, we see the increase in our tipping fees. The proposed tipping fee increase from the county will be $55 per ton. We're looking about $150,000 increase. We're looking in this budget to increase our residential fees from $35 to $40 to offset that expense, as well as some of the commercial roll-offs, dumpsters, and we have that list too, if you want to ask those questions. Ms. Bachelor has that. That's basically the increase in revenue and increase in expenditures to offset the typical fees based on the current numbers that we have. Okay, are there any questions about solid waste? Okay. Fund 500 is the drug funds on, it's a total revenue of 15,000, total expenditure 15,000. The fund balance of 24,989. Very minimal activity in the drug fund. Fund 800, that's our community development fund, where our ARPA money went, and our community development dollars. Total revenue coming into that, that's from our revolving loan fund, is $6,025. Total expenditures of $2,500. Because we have a fund balance of $1,726,000. After this budget, if it's approved for Fund 800, we have an ending balance of $1,730,516. So you see the minimum amount there. There's a large deposit made on the once we sold the property, income industries at our Fort Advantage Park. Okay, are there any questions, concerning any additional comments, Ms. Bass? I just kind of gave the 30,000 foot view with some details of what the increases will be. But like I stated earlier, this budget is heavy in longevity pay, 4% cost of living increase, 8% insurance increase, and the Christmas bonus of $1,000 with some health benefits to be added. But our budgeted for. We do have positions that are open that are budgeted for that need to be filled. So, any questions, concerns?
Well, just one concern, you and I have talked, paving. I think we're pretty close to critical mass on paving, and I know you got that on the forefront of your mind.
Yes, sir.
I'm a little disappointed it's not in the budget, but I think if we work through the year, if we have additional money, any amendments or whatever, I think paving needs to be a priority of the city of Brownsville.
Yes, sir. Well, duly noted. We do have we had a conference call today about the CDB grant to pave Hatchie, and I emphasized that we want this done in this paving season. It looks very possible. We called it a NEPA phase. We were all on the phone call this morning, and I emphasize again, please, and thank you. We need this done. It's the worst street. It's the longest 1.6 miles, terrible pavement. So we need the CDB grant. Of course, we got to jump through the days, bacon wages and all the hoops, but it's worth it. Because that definitely would be done. It'd just be a milling and paving. Of course, we're still working the multimodal and the surface transportation grant for Anderson. So as you and I talked about too, the grants, they're good, but they can be cumbersome. And a lot of times you get the grant approved, the cost of materials and structures go up in the process. So we'll continue to hammer that one as well as putting additional money into the budget as we move along for paving, but we just straight out go and get it. All right, are there any other questions, concerns about orders number 1022 of the 2024-25 budget as presented? Do I have any questions? None? At this time, I'd like to call for a motion. Do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
So moved. Do I hear a second? Been moved by the second. Is there concerns or questions? Payment duly noted. All right, at this time, all those in favor, let it know by the sign of aye. Those opposed, nay. Okay. Ordinance number 1022 passes on the first reading. Next, we have an action item, which is a mural for Main Street. I think we have a copy here in our packet. Tom, you want to come give us a brief description of what this is? This was going to go on Jackson Avenue, if I'm looking at this building correctly. And it's our blues legend, Hammond Nixon, Yank Rachel, and Sleepy Don is.
Oh, that's right. Now, here is what a mock-up that Chris Morey did that gives you a little better
Okay.
view. That building is not the correct building that it's on.
Okay.
This
Okay.
is
Thank you for changing.
this is on Milano's building.
Okay, okay.
And so it'll be in view of everyone. It's right in front of the alley. I still have plans for the alley. But you're right, we're wanting to pursue a grant for that. I got a bid for $15,000 to do the mural. A former artist here, Roy Hawkins, y'all may be familiar with him. Marty Stoots recommended him. He has said he would do it for that price. Now we've just got to come up with the money. So there's a couple of grants we can apply for. Of course, we always have a private donor that's interested in that kind of thing. But anyway, so that's what we propose for that. And the
Okay,
Historic Planning Board has approved it,
okay.
as long as it's not in the alleyway. They said it was too nice of a mural to be in the alley.
Okay. All right. If there are no questions for Tom,
No,
okay, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve action item for the mural. Do I hear a motion? It's been moved. Do I hear a second?
second.
It's been moved and properly second. Any discussion or question? No discussion? I'll call for the vote. All in favor, let it know by the sign of aye. Those opposed, nay. Okay, mural approved.
Thank you.
Next on our agenda, we have community development report, Ms. Kristen Mann.
Good afternoon. Are there any questions regarding the community development report?
Cause I hit I hit the highlights with the, everybody wants to know about payment, right? So we're looking at the Mother grant, the Anderson Avenue, SPPG grant, our State Street for all these things that continue to go on. The biggest one, of course, being, paving hatch. Okay, no question for the community development report. Thank you, Ms. Mann. Next, we have our financial manager report from Ms. Sherry Bell.
Any questions concerning the finance for the month of May? Thank you.
At this time, I'd like to entertain a motion that we approve the financial manager report for the month, as presented. Do I hear a motion? Motion, do I hear a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. Any questions, concerns? Hearing none, we'll call for the vote. All in favor, let it know by the sign of aye. Those opposed, nay. Manager report approved. All right, my mayor's report, I'll be real quick. Dr. Dowling, who's been a staple in our community, I think we saw some of these things in the newspaper. He retired. He said he wanted to just ride off in the sunset. He didn't want, I said, I know you didn't want a big thing. He said, I didn't want anything. So we took lunch out to him and we just told him thank you for what he's doing. You see more in there that's gonna take over the practice, and they want to continue to help people in the community and prosper health in our community. So thank you, Dr. Dowling. The Blues Festival was a success with 2,500 people that came and went to this festival. The Ohio Club, they come every year, the guys and ladies in the orange shirt, they come from Ohio. I think it's a Twin City, I don't remember this called, but they come every year. They participate in it and we had a great time. Would you see me down there? That's a gentleman from Fayette County, retired military, about to retire from FedEx. He had a Z06 on the CA, one of the news. He came in late and that was the mayor's pick. And to me, that was, you don't see those every day. Heck of investment, really nice guy, wants to continue to promote well-being and prosperity in our community. We appreciate him. Of course, you know, Tom, we talked about the bike racks that we installed in Louisville City, and we actually went on a bike ride, which was on an electric bike, which was pretty cool. Tom, Representative John Shaw, myself, Marion Dunn from Ford. I think the guy's name was Will and Ty from the bike shop, Peterborough. And I can remember the lady's name just proposed a program from the state and Commissioner Ezel. Jenny, yeah, she was really nice. We all changed, went for a bike ride, out Key Corner and back. It was a beautiful day. It was really not a lot of effort involved, with the electric bikes. It was really cool. It was just like riding a motorcycle, no more. I wouldn't have known if I hadn't had the experience, but it was really, really nice. The bikers that Tom gave some graphics of the bikers that use these electric bikes. They're college educated, medium income, $75,000 a year. So these are people that, as he pointed, will come to Brownsville and will have disposable income to participate. And they love the countryside in our square. So that was a plus for our city. Commissioner Ezel, he's an avid back rider, so he didn't ride electric bike. All right, that's I had a couple. My son, I don't know if you saw the paper. Thank you, Carl, and the Brownsville Press for promoting Evan. He was elected junior vice president of the national junior vice president of the student council. Outstanding young man. Y'all seen him around holding the Bible, swearing and saying, but he's growing up. He's 12 and 13 in July. He's a member of Mensa. He's a member of the National Honor Society. This is second election that he's won, and he wants to focus on a safe, student-oriented environment. Those are the quotes that he gave. And he's looking at some things in early literacy. So I thank you for your support. I'm very proud of him what he's doing. Okay, the mega site meeting in Nashville, we saw the supplier's name, but no designation where the money would go. You'll be happy to know that the backside of I-40 Advantage Park now has a certified site selection status, which puts us, that means all geographical studies have been done. So when we're ready to sell that property, we'll see some improvements. We have a site development grant to put a sewer pump in the middle of the property, so they're both front and back. When in the process, the county, you've got a site development grant that I have Bird Dog to put a road, industrial access road, to redoing any improvements or change to Windrow Road to be inside the property line. So that designation, to me, that adds more value to the property. It expedites the process and reduces the risk. So I think we have opportunity to go up on the price. But I said it publicly. All right. Next, Woodlawn Baptist Church had their 158th homecoming, which I got a chance to participate in. It was awesome. Very, very historical and uplifting event for me. Juneteenth Unity Breakfast will be Saturday, June 15th. It's coming Saturday at 9 a.m. at the Carver High School. We have somebody about the RSVP so we can get a good head count of the amount of food we need. But it's always a good time. Pastor Moraine will be our speaker this year. That's all I have. Thank you. Alderman Pugh. Alderman Bishop.
No report.
Alderwoman Flagg.
Thank you. I think the MBO one. Never. Again, in June 1, the average resident elected bill increase approximately 8.65%. You can see very clear cost adjustment. And on June 15th, which is this Thursday, I never was watching it, it was very everywhere, it was 5:30, and we are anybody phone. If you don't have to live in the war, just come and see what our staff have to say. I have about 5 or 6 of them. And be guests to speak and talk about the grass and bring you update on some of the information. And the pickleball is this Friday, the last one at 5:30 at the We're going up and going back to school. Bags will be July 22nd at 5 o'clock.
Heritage Park. Okay, thank you. All right. At this time, are there any departmental reports? Simon? Yes, I'm going. Oh, yeah, Ross.
I thought this would be a good time I think everyone knows Ross Houghton, but a good time to formally introduce him as the new marketing manager of Visit Brownsville. His position is a part-time position that we were able to secure through a tourism ARPA grant. And it's a 3-year grant. So Ross has been working for, has it been 2 months now? He's been on board for 2 months, and we've already seen huge increases in our social media presence and our website. So he's already hit the ground running.
Thank you. Let's give Ross a round of applause.
Yeah, Ross.
We have talented people in our community. It's important to be using. It's important. So we appreciate you coming on board, and it's a grant funded position for 3 years. Why not hire somebody local? You know, it's a win-win situation. Thank you, Sonia. Thank you. All right. Are there any public comments concerning anything that was on the agenda tonight? Any comments from the public? As by law, we're required now to open it up for any public comments, anything that's on the agenda tonight. Okay. Hearing none, at this time I'd like to entertain a motion to adjourn. Do I hear a motion? A motion. Do I hear a second? Second. All right, all in favor, you get up, go home.
He made a motion and a second. Oh, I thought you made a vote. He was making up for lost time.